Why is it so hard to give up sugar, and what would happen if you gave it up for 30 days? Well, I'm a sugarholic, and that is exactly what I tried to do. When I decided to do this challenge, I totally forgot there was like a serious major holiday with all types of goodies. I guess that's every single holiday, but I probably would have chosen a different 30-day set if I would have remembered this. So they say that sugar is just as addictive as a drug. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this really easy thing to remember about what sugar does to your brain. Have you ever seen Legally Blonde? And you know, at the end when she's like being all lawyer and she's like, well, she exercises, and then exercises gives you endorphins, which makes you happy. So there's no way that she could be the murderer, or like whatever that she says. And I feel like that's basically your brain on sugar. Sugar releases dopamine, or like pleasure in the brain, boosting your mood, which is basically what endorphins do. And so then your brain is like, oh my gosh, that makes me feel really good. Let's have some more. And then it's like, that's how the craving goes. And like, it gets stronger and stronger the more you have. And that is what makes it extremely addictive, because it's like we're chasing that feeling. Having that feeling is like one of a kind. Okay, so I read a few things, and here's kind of like a very basic rundown of what would happen to your body giving up sugar for 30 days. I knew that this 30 days was like my ultimate hard challenge. So the rules are going to be the same, which is going to be like fruits are totally fine, and anything sweetened with like monk fruit or stevia. But there is like an entire list of like over 70 or 80 different names that sugar goes by. I'll put a link in the description for the PDF file that I put together for myself, and you can get that for free. Mine is now sitting on my fridge. Like, this felt very daunting because I'm like, 30 days is a long time, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because there's like hidden sugar everywhere, and I didn't want to accidentally like not forget to check something, and then it was like, oh, there's sugar in that. Now I have to like restart everything. And plus, I didn't want to set this challenge for myself, and then it was like, totally failed, and I'd be like so embarrassed and like not proud of myself. I was prepared just to give it my best. I decided to do this challenge after cleaning sugar all out of my pantry and my refrigerator using the chart that I mentioned before, and you would be shocked by how many things have sugar in there that you wouldn't know. So I was pretty nervous, but the thing that kept me very motivated on day one and like ready to take on this challenge was all of the health issues that sugar can cause and like everything that it affects in your body. Especially for me, like my mood is like, I can tell when I don't have sugar a lot, and then I have some, it's like I get like angry. So I don't know if that happens to you before. Like, have you ever noticed that when you don't have sugar and then you have sugar and it's like, oh my gosh, like more irritable and like all of this stuff. So I hadn't been having a lot of sugar like right up to this challenge, but I knew like day 2, 3, and 4 that I was going to have like a really bad sugar headache, because it's like your body is detoxing. So for those days, I made sure like to drink a ton of freaking water, and then I also like had some coffee, like caffeine, to kind of try to combat that headache. But I ended up getting through it, and let me tell you, like getting through that headache and like that first week, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm kind of proud of myself. Like I did the week, like I've done it before, so I did the week. I'm like, I'm going somewhere. Okay. So in my coffee, I like to add this syrup. It's like a salted caramel, but it's sweetened with stevia. And I ran out of that sweetener. And so it's like, I don't really want to order it on Amazon. Like I really want some for tomorrow. So I went to the store and was looking like at their selection of coffee syrups. And I was like, there was one, like the only one that I found that said sugar-free, because I know like if it didn't say sugar-free, it had a crap ton of sugar in it. So the only one that had said sugar free, I was like, okay, now I have to read the label and see like what was in there. And lo and behold, it has one of the other types of fake sugar in there that can like lead to causing cancer. I was like, okay, let me just put that away. So my backup plan for that next day is like, I'll just use half and half or heavy cream because those don't have any sugars in there. And let me tell you the really interesting part, because like not having that flavor in my coffee, like I hated the taste of coffee, but like over time as this challenge went on, I actually started to enjoy just having like a little bit of half and half in with my black coffee, or with my coffee, not my black coffee. I mean, coffee is black, but you know what I mean. After 2 weeks, it felt like it was starting to get a lot easier. Like I could tell like my mood was changing, like my taste buds were actually changing a little bit too. And one thing that I really enjoy is like having a little drink or cocktail on a Friday night, just like unwind from the week, especially when you have like one of those really long weeks, which has been literally all of the last month, like has been a long week, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm tired of working. Like I 100% know that you can relate to that, but like, do you have a job that you like seriously love and you're like, I love going to this every single day? If you do, tell me what you do below in the comments, because I would really love to know what that is. I've gotten really good at coming up with these drinks, and so I decided to do a mango smoothie, basically. It started getting cold, and I decided that I was going to try to make homemade apple cider, because one of my favorite things to do is drive around on our golf cart when it's cold outside, like snuggled up in a blanket with like this hat, and I love having hot apple cider. Usually I'll put like a little bit of Fireball in there, but of course, like no. Stocked up on all the kinds of apples that they had and some oranges, and I was like, how am I actually going to eat all of this before it goes bad? And I was like, I'll just make homemade apple cider, and I can like make a ton, and it'll still use all of these ingredients, and I don't feel like I have to like overeat to use them all before they go bad. The trick and like the thing that kept me going even into and carrying me through this week 3 is like finding all of these little alternatives, but also like in the back of my mind, just having what sugar does to your body. Weight gain is a thing, because I've been obsessed with trying to lose weight for literally like the past 14 years. Yeah, 14 years. Let me tell you how freaking exhausting that is, like always worrying about your weight, but that's for another time. But yeah, so like the cancer and that kind of like serious stuff, like that was the main motivator. Like this 30 days was not motivated by weight loss, like what I've tried to do in the past. It's motivated me from like the heart issues you have, cancer, like those types of really serious things. So that is what kept me on track. And that, I think, is the most important thing that you need in order to do like a really tough mental challenge like this, is you need to find like something super strong and just keep that like in the forefront of your mind. Because without that motivation, I don't think I would have been able to get through the 30 days. So I ended up buying every kind of nuts that they had at Costco, and these mixed nuts are my favorite because like every one is a different texture. If you're a fan of Friends, you know, like this is a Brazil nut. And every time I see a Brazil nut or think about it, it's like when Rachel's new boyfriend was like, did you know the Brazil nut is not actually a nut, it's a seed? And everybody's just like, okay. So there's your useless knowledge for the day. One thing that I found super interesting going into that last week is like my taste buds like changing. Vegetables started tasting way sweeter to me. So there's this bag that you could get from Costco. It's frozen butternut squash, which like squash is my totally favorite thing. And I know that might be gross for some people, but I freaking love it. But you can roast the squash, and I was like, before I was like, yeah, this is good, but I need to add like garlic to it and salt and that kind of thing. But I ate that after like during week 4. That actually tastes super sweet to me. And like, who would have thought like sitting there eating a vegetable, I would be like, oh, this is sweet. Like, it's mind-boggling to me, like, how my taste buds changed. Here's something really cool, okay? I feel like the universe was, like, telling me I was doing a good job because we went on vacation for this holiday, and we went and played, like, bingo at this card hall or whatever, and I won, like, the jackpot prize. I was like, okay, the universe is smiling on me. Like, I'm being rewarded for doing really good at this challenge. But let me tell you, this holiday is like full of like pumpkin pie and pecan pie. And I knew 100% that I was going to want to eat these. And I knew that I had to come up with something different so I would still have like this dessert and be satisfied with and not feel like I was like totally missing out. I made this pie, and there can be a little bit of tweaks to it. I'm going to share it with you probably in another video, but you know what was really great? I had this freaking huge pie with no sugar added. I actually forgot about it in the oven. Like, it stayed, I cooked it for, it was like 50 minutes, and I was like, I really like my apples or like things in the pie to be like super soft. So I was like, I'm just gonna leave it in this warm oven. It turns out I totally forgot about it until like midnight that night. Nobody else wanted to try my sugar-free pie. And I was like, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not offended that they don't want to try my pie. More for me. But it didn't feel like I was failing myself and like overeating. And I wasn't disappointed that I was eating this. Let me tell you like how proud I am that I was able to get through this 30 days, because honestly, I thought I was going to be sitting here telling you how crappy I did. So for the end of this challenge, like something just clicked in my brain. It was like, I don't need sugar to enjoy my food. Like, you know how freeing that thought is? And that is like a total win for somebody that's addicted to sugar. And you need to do this too, because you're going to be super proud of yourself. Like, you can do hard things. I really want to show you all the things that I found in my pantry that had sugar added to it. I want you to watch this video up here, because I also talk about a little bit of the health things, and that was what gave me the push to do this challenge in the first place. Thank you for watching and following along with this journey, and I will see you in this video.